Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone XS Max and compare it against the iPhone 8 Plus and see which specific phone you should go ahead and buy in 2023. Now, I kind of do think the XS Max is probably the better way to go. It's kind of obvious. But I think the iPhone 8 Plus is still a phone that's supported, and that's probably one of the better things going for the 8 Plus as of this point. So, if you want to go ahead and buy some phones I would recommend buying this year, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there. You can help support the channel at the same time. Now, side by side, you can definitely tell both these phones are very different, but these two phones were kind of the biggest phone offerings for both these manufacturers 2 years in a row. The iPhone 8 Plus came out in 2017, and it was technically the biggest phone you could buy from Apple in 2017. It had a 5.5-inch Retina IPS panel on the front, and it was a pretty good looking panel. There wasn't a lot to complain about here. You had the very big bezel on the top and a very big bezel on the bottom as well. You had the little Touch ID sensor right here, and overall it looked pretty good. It didn't look ugly, but definitely when this, iPhone's kind of successor, the iPhone X came out, this thing started to look fairly outdated, and nowadays it is a very, very outdated looking phone. With the iPhone XS Max, on the other hand, this phone came out in 2018. It doesn't even look like these two phones are 1 year apart. Like, it looks like these phones are like 20 years apart from each other, but this phone had a 6.5-inch Super Retina Oled display, and this was a very good looking panel. I've always felt like Apple did a great job with the XS Max's screen. It still looks very good. You had the notch, it was a big phone, but you had slim bezels around it, and it came in the same size, almost identically the same size as the iPhone 8 Plus. So although you were getting a bigger phone, a bigger display, it was the same exact size phone, which was really, really nice on a device like this. So thinness and thickness wise, I will also say that both phones were kind of similar, but the XS Max may have been a little bit thicker. I do have a skin on the XS Max, which gives it a little bit more like width, I would say. But yeah, I would probably say the XS Max was a thicker phone, but the iPhone 8 Plus was a very, very thin phone from what you were getting, which was a nice touch for the iPhone, XS Max. On the bottom, we have lightning ports on both these devices, and on the back, we have glass back kind of things on both. With the iPhone XS Max, I have a skin on it because it was cracked. My iPhone 8 Plus needs a skin on it because it is very, very cracked, and you can kind of tell, from both. Good phones, not too much to complain about here. They both have, glass backs. They both have IP certification, wireless charging as well. So those types of things are really, really good with a device like this, which is pretty nice. Dual camera setups as well. But what's funny is both these cameras are kind of like top down, and this one's left right. So pretty cool stuff. Not too much to complain about here either. But I think both these phones, at the end of the day, are very similar because they're phones made by Apple, but they are very, very different. And the fact that they're only like 1 year apart from each other is pretty insane in my opinion. So from that perspective, that kind of covers it up there. Now, in terms of basically the software and the longevity of both these phones, it is kind of a tough situation to be in sometimes because the iPhone 8 Plus, although it's still supported with software currently, like it's still in the major version of software, we don't know how much longer it's going to last. This iPhone could last another year. It could get discontinued this June. So we're kind of playing a betting game or just kind of seeing which one is going to last longer. But I think it's almost safe to say that the iPhone XS Max is still going to be getting software support. Sorry, I dropped the phone. It's still going to be getting software support. So I don't think this phone is going anywhere anytime soon. But I will say that if there's going to be a phone that lasts longer, it's going to be the XS Max. There's no way the 8 Plus is going to last longer than this phone. The worst case scenario, both these phones end off at the same time, which I kind of doubt. That's a lot of phones ending off at the same time. So I feel like the XS Max is still going to be supported for quite a bit of time, and I think that's a really, really good thing. If you're getting a phone like the iPhone XS Max, you're still going to be getting a phone that's still supported with software, and that's a really, really good thing you're getting with a device like the XS Max. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both these devices. The iPhone XS Max has that Apple A12 Bionic chip inside of it, with 4 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone 8 Plus has that Apple A11 Bionic chip inside of it with 3 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go and see which one's the faster one between both. Okay, there we go. All the apps are cleared out in the background, so let us get into it. Phone calls, 3, 2, 1. Okay, perfect. Hopping out of here. So I'm going to get into their app stores, 3, 2, 1. And I think the iPhone 8 Plus was actually faster there. That was kind of surprising. Scrolling through. It does kind of seem like the iPhone XS Max is kind of the faster one here. The iPhone 8 Plus a little bit slower. Hopping out of here. Let's go and get into mail. 3, 2, 1. Okay. I think the iPhone, I don't really know which one was the faster one there. Clock. 3, 2, 1. Okay, I think the iPhone XS Max kind of glitched up a little bit hopping out of it. Let's go and get into settings. 3, 2, 1. XS Max was faster there. Let's go into some of these third-party applications. So we do have Genshin Impact, or let's do Subway Surfers 321. I do like testing these games like Genshin Impact and those types of games because those are massive games that pretty much offer a ton of power. Now, I don't understand why the iPhone 8 Plus keeps beating my XS Max. That is something that doesn't really make any sense to me at all, especially with the phone like the XS Max was fairly powerful, I would say. It's getting a lot more features than something like the iPhone 8 Plus. Genshin Impact 321. Now, like I said, pretty big game here. They could flip-flop on both, but again, the iPhone 8 Plus is outperforming my iPhone XS Max again. Not too sure why this is happening. It looks like, yeah, so it pretty much got into the loading panel much faster than my iPhone XS Max. So I'm not too sure what's going on here. Hopefully this isn't just a fluke. I mean, hopefully this is a fluke because I don't want the iPhone XS Max being slower than an iPhone that's older than it. Let's go and try something else. We do have some of these other third-party apps. We can try something like Stack 321. Okay, iPhone XS Max was the faster one there. Hopping out of here, let's go and try Dropbox 321. Let's go and hop out of here. Let's go and try Snapchat 321. Okay, so I did think that was the older version of Snapchat. That's not the right version of Snapchat. So I'm going to hop out of here and I'll go and exit out of that application as well. Let's go and try one other application. Let's go ahead and try something like Twitter 321. Okay, perfect. So in terms of that, I definitely do think a phone like the iPhone 8 Plus is pretty good. It's outperforming my iPhone XS Max. The XS Max should be the faster one. But for some reason, it kept getting beat by my iPhone 8 Plus, which is very crazy. So that kind of covers it up there. Let's go and hit on the cameras. Now, both of these have dual camera setups on the back. Very similar cameras, different stylings a little bit, but similar cameras. A wide and telephoto lenses, same megapixel count. The front, though, a little tiny bit of a difference. You can do 1080p video at the front of the iPhone 8 Plus, but you can do 1080p at 60 frames per second on the iPhone XS Max, which is kind of a nice touch there for the most part. Now, with something like the iPhone 8 Plus, what was really cool about this type of phone was that, for one, you could easily go ahead and pick it up and zoom in and zoom out if you want to. 10x zoom right there. Only 1x zoom, so no ultra-wide camera on either one of these phones, so keep that in mind. On top of that, you were still maintaining things like photo mode, video mode, slow mode, time-lapse. You're also getting portrait mode, square mode, panorama mode as well. So that kind of stuff is really cool because you were getting still like a very, very good type of layout on a phone like the iPhone 8 Plus, which was pretty cool. Now, with something like the iPhone XS Max, what was really awesome about this phone was that it was still a very, very good type of phone for the most part, and that was something I really liked about the iPhone XS Max. So with this thing, you were able to go ahead and basically use the 1x zoom here, 10x zoom here too, so nothing we haven't seen before either. You had essentially, I'm gonna hop out of here, photo mode, video mode, slow mode, time lapse. So I had portrait mode and panorama mode towards the end of it too. So this was still a very good type of device that I actually liked a lot, and this type of camera quality is still very sharp and still very, very good. So I would say the XS Max camera is probably better than the iPhone 8 Plus, but it's still very similar. So to kind of sum up this video, what I'll definitely tell you is I definitely do think a phone like the iPhone XS Max is still a very, very good phone. I like this phone a lot, and I think I like this phone now a little bit, but mostly because it's cheaper now. But there's not even a reason to pick up either one of these phones. I would just recommend buying an iPhone 11 Pro Max. That is definitely going to be a better phone to buy than this thing. But you can always buy an iPhone 12 Pro Max, 13 Pro Max. I think the XS Max is a better one than the iPhone 8 Plus, but in terms of that, it kind of covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.